In this video, I'll be covering the basics of um, Scratch, basically moving a character, repeating statements, basic animations. So, when you start a new Scratch project, you'll be presented with your main interface. This is an IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. Basically, we have tools, code, and the execution areas so you can actually see what you're doing. It also has art and sound tools built into it too. But let's start off, let's make the cat move. So if we grab the move 10 steps and click on it, the cat will just scoot forward a little bit. That's good, but let's do make it a little more natural looking. The first thing is I would like to use the flag to actually get things going. So let's go to our control area in events rather, grab the flag clicked and run it. So he moves forward a second, looks okay, but it's not great. So we want this to happen a bunch of times so it looks like he's moving. So let's take and add a repeat block around this. So if I take and run it, he scoots forward, it animates okay. Maybe it's a little too smooth. Let's add a wait 0.1 second between each one. That looks a little nicer. Last thing, let's take and make it so he actually moves. If we go click on the costumes tab, you'll notice our cat actually has two costumes, and they make up a really terrible walk loop. So if we go to our code and we go to looks, one of our options we have is next costume. If we throw that into our loop, it's going to move forward 10 steps, wait a second, then switch to the next costume. That looks a little okay. Let's kind of things. Let's move the next costume before the wait. I'm gonna move the cat back. That looks pretty good. I can speed it up by bringing this to 0.05. That will double the speed. And the last thing is I'd like to make it so the cat doesn't have to keep being dragged back. So let's give ourselves like a reset tool. So I'm gonna put the cat kind of where I want him. I'm gonna grab this block here. I'm gonna make this negative 190 because I like round numbers, and 120. If I click on this block, cat goes there. If I run it, and then I can press this button again, it'll start again. Our last step is and then we're gonna grab the 0.90 directories, which will come into our later. So now I have some basic setups. We can take and do an animation where our cat walks around the screen. So we first figure out how far to go. So he moves 10 pixels 10 times, so 100 pixels. And we can double check that by taking and double clicking here. We're at negative 190. We should be at negative 90 after. Good. So I kind of want to get the cat to about here-ish. So positive 190. So that is 270 steps. No, 280 steps. So let's just 28 times. So let's reset them and let's run it. Oh, by which I mean 38. So I'll reset. In fact, let's bring this into the flag so whenever I hit the flag, he'll start at the beginning. That looks good. So now what we want to do is we want him to go over, down, back, and forward. So I need to make him turn. Let's just do a raw turn 15 degrees. Let's turn 90 degrees. And notice I'm testing as I go. And then I want him to end somewhere around here. So we're going from 120 to negative 120. So let's grab this block here and make this instead of 28. Let's do this 240, 24 times. Flag, let's see. So he walks across, he turns, he walks down. That looks good. He turns back. Now really we want to do this whole sequence twice. So let's go back to our control and grab the repeat block. And grab this whole code, drop it in there, and we'll repeat it twice. So he goes down, he turns, comes back. Now, his ears are getting clipped off, so maybe we should bring it down a little. Let's bring this from 738. Let's go 37. And let's bring him slightly forward. Let's go 80. 70. Ooh, 180. So it's better. Let's go 36 times. So I'm guessing and checking and seeing how it looks. Good. His ears aren't going off. His ears don't go off the bottom. Ears going tough. We now have a nice cycled animation. In our next video, we'll talk about how to actually make this more like a game where we control the cat with the keys on the keyboard.